Hi, welcome to the Melissa Goodman Show. And I have the opportunity of interviewing game changers in the wellness area, which is what I work in and I absolutely love and I'm super passionate about. And I have a really special lady here today, Lena George. She is a restorative healer. And she does so many different things, meditation, tapping. I mean, just, it's endless what this woman is capable of doing. So I'm going to talk to her about the things that she loves to do. And hopefully we'll get into tapping because I want everybody out there to know about tapping because it really can change your life. Welcome, Lena.
Thank you.
I love having you. The minute I met you, I fell in love with you.
Likewise.
Absolutely. It was a love fest, a girl crush. And so I asked my guests the first question, what are you doing to change the game in this wellness arena? I mean, there's so much going on with restorative healing and meditation and all the things you're involved in.
Yeah. That's
so what do you love?
Question. I think as you said that, because you used the word healer, which is actually one of those words that I'm like, ooh, big word.
Mm-hmm.
I think about the idea that restoring, right, and healing, and all of those concepts, that each of us is a healer inside, and we can heal each other as soon as we're, reaching out and you're, let's say, having a bad day, and I reach out and I touch your hand, and I offer you comfort or companionship. Instantly, your body goes into it's all going to be okay mode. And that's kind of what I think of with restoring wellness, restoring healing. Our bodies will naturally go back. Our bodies always want to return to homeostasis. Our emotional well-being wants to return to that all is well feeling. It's our kind of constant chatter, internal, like, that's not good enough. What do you look like on camera right now, Lena? Like, what's going on?
Right.
That keeps us constantly kind of like either behind the 8 ball or knocked over or self-conscious in a way that has nothing to do with wellness or health.
And totally. I mean, it feels like, I know with my practice, it feels they're very out of body. We're not in our body.
Exactly.
So what you do is so crucial these days. And to get people back in their body, right?
For sure. And getting back in the body in a way that feels good.
Right.
So a lot of the times during meditation, I have people direct their mindfulness, their mindset, their attention to their internal physical state. And a lot of the times when they do it, everybody fidgets instantly, right?
Right?
We all start fidgeting and we notice, oh, I'm not sitting up straight, I'm not doing something. And then,
we start to be conscious.
We start to be conscious, but it's almost self-conscious in a not so productive or helpful way. So then I have everyone redirect towards a savoring, something that you can savor, something like
what?
A place that feels open. So if you're doing it, I can see you doing it.
Yeah.
Or a place that feels quiet, like the back of my ears always feels really quiet. I never feel anything like bad back there.
How fascinating. Yeah. I would never focus on the back of my ears.
Because it's not something you have to focus on. So it's quiet or something that feels flowing, like.
So does that automatically come up for each person, someplace different?
It will. Something, like for you right now, if you were to focus on a sensation in your body that you could savor, just see where you go.
It's really in my heart.
What does it feel like?
Or my chest.
Nice.
Yeah.
What does it feel like?
It feels like calm.
And then that's your kind of safe space. I call it the hermit crab shell, right? So like we all have this kind of same needs that we had when we were little kids. I say this a lot recently, and I have a lot of kid clients, which is really interesting to kind of get to tell them the things that I tell their parents or the adults around them.
That's kind of brilliant too.
We really don't get more complicated than we were when we were little. We need the exact same things we did when we were little. We just have bigger stories around them. Before it was like, ice cream, and now it's like that job or that position or that salary amount. But it's still this small thing externally that's dictating our internal state. So we're not more complicated. We just need that same kind of hermit crab shell or like the caregiver's arms, same thing, to return to kind of get back to that homeostasis.
Right. I mean, that is huge. I mean, I think everybody is living in like a fear state. And or a competitive state, like we were talking earlier, with all of this world out there. I mean, so so how do you get them to this place? I mean,
So the funny thing, so I've been making these really big blanket statements that my sister is always like, oh, big statement.
can you live up to that statement?
I know. People have been asking me a lot. You know, I'll have students or clients ask me about self-love. And I'm like, self-love is actually a myth.
Interesting. Wow, I love that.
It's one of those.
Self-love is overused.
It's a myth. We don't love ourselves. We feel loved. We feel like we matter. And that wires into our brains when we're little tiny, tiny, tiny babies from 3 months till 2 years old. The fact of someone loving me lets me feel loved. And
Right.
that's what becomes our sense of self-love. So if we didn't have that, or it got disrupted along the way for whatever reasons,
Yeah.
we don't have self-love, but it's really, self-loved.
Right. That makes sense completely.
it's-
Great
so-
way to rephrase that.
Yeah, and so how do you do that if you don't have that ideal mother or perfect family life? How do you do that, right? That's
And who has
something-
that?
And honestly, it's funny, in psychology they call it a good enough mother. Yeah. They don't even say like ideal
Yeah,
mother. They're
yeah.
like, let's not even try.
I think I might use that.
Good enough. It sounds so mean. But
Yeah.
that's all
I was
it
good
is.
enough.
Good enough. Yeah, right there. But you can use your imagination.
Yeah.
So what's so cool is that's what I always call mindfulness the remote control.
Okay.
So it's really like being able to use your imagination button, your posture, your breath, and actually being able to choose and change your internal state and your kind of emotional state.
Right.
So you can use your imagination. That's one of the buttons that you can use.
How do you
And
use your
can
imagination?
imagine
Okay.
a higher, I call it the guardian,
Okay.
because that's what essentially gets wired into the brain early days. You get this wired sense of something bigger, stronger, wiser that loves you and that you matter to and that will protect you from everything. And that is our primary biological drive. Not food, not Maslow's
Yeah.
pyramid,
Right.
not all that.
It's that
actually
imaginary
connecting,
okay.
feeling like I matter. So that's where religion comes in.
Right, true.
Like,
Right.
I mean, God is
God.
the ultimate bigger, stronger, wiser for so many thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Right? So
Right.
anything like that. I have kids that will use, what did I have recently? I love hummingbirds. Like a lot of by the way, a lot of my friends have hummingbirds as their kind of guardians.
Uh-huh.
And then I love dolphins.
Oh, okay.
But they can be anything. I
Right.
have kids use big cats. They like the cheetahs and those kinds of things. Can be angels. They can be nature, oceans, but anything that can give you love and reassure you. That's really the base.
So what do you do
Without
with
that, you
these
just-
items? What do you do with
the same
these?
way you would tap in, so like that hermit crab shell.
Yeah.
Right. So you picture, I kind of call it like an Om base.
Uh-huh.
So you're like eyes closed, home base. It's that place where you can tap into and recenter. So if you see like a little 2-year-old at the playground, right? And they're with their caregiver, maybe they're like running off and they're going to explore something, and a pigeon lands close to them and they're like, oh, and they freak out and they run back to their caregiver and they get soothed. And there's just like and then they're like, and then they get bored.
Right.
Because they're
And then they go
fine.
back out.
And then they go back out and play. But we as adults need that as well.
Right.
Right. So where do
Yeah,
we go to get soothed?
soothed.
Do you only book it once a week? That
Right,
massage,
right.
or that therapy session. Where do you go to get soothed, to get that like down so that you're ready to play again?
Right.
So that's that hermit crab shell that I described. And you create this internal home base.
Okay.
Internal, like soothing nest. Right.
Right. That is so beautiful. I mean, we're going to learn more about that.
Yeah.
We're going to take a commercial break and come back and learn more about how to soothe ourselves, because who doesn't need more of that?
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Diva TV. And right now we're in the Focus TV studios in Hollywood.
Happy Wednesday, Empoweristas. It's Alex Worley.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Paffrath.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting stories from all over the world.
Hi, this is Alyssa Goodman Show, and I am Alyssa Goodman.
You're watching Beige Bay TV. It's fitness expert and your Beige Bay, Edwina Chia.
Hey, Dr. Erin here, teaching universal law and spiritual truth.
Hey everyone, it's Michelle Gillette with Focus TV, and this is the Spotlight Series.
Hey LA, I'm Gwen Lane with the LA Girl.
Hey everybody, Terry here, host of the interview series Success Beyond Beauty.
Hi, I'm Fern Olivia, and welcome to Sensual Intelligence TV.
Hi, I'm Janica. I'm here with Focus TV for my segment of Fearless Females.
So we're back with Lena George, and we were just talking about how to soothe ourselves and how to get to that hermit shell feeling. And now I want to talk about like why this is so important in the healing and health arena, because it really because we're not in that place very often, we get sick, right?
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, the root of health and happiness is really that kind of homeostasis, that place of all is well, right? So I was saying to someone recently about how we're social mammals, right? We're dolphins. We're not like loner lizards.
Yeah.
And if we're alone or feel alone, you know, you can be in the middle of 100 people and feel very alone. If we feel alone, we don't come out of that fight, flight, threat response. We just don't. Because if you picture that one dolphin away on its own, right? And it's like swimming by itself and realizes its whole pod is missing. Is it gonna have time to relax and just like kick back and like, you know, float? No. It has to stay in fight, flight until it gets back to its pod, right? So that's how we are too. So if we don't have that pod feeling, pod people feeling, if we don't have our tribe, our hermit crab shell, we're always going to stay in fight flight. And this is what I see over and over and over.
So do I.
People with kids, husbands, best friends, PTAs, you know, hundreds of employees feel super alone. I think that's the biggest root kind of illness.
Right.
Truly, if I'm going to make another big giant statement.
Right. No, it's so
the
true.
Root is isolation.
So when you have all these friends around and all the, you know, family and all that, and you still feel alone.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Right. Where do you go?
It's an internal state.
Yeah.
It has, you know, with all the ideas of law of attraction or all of these things, it's not the external that matters, it's always the internal. So you can have billions of dollars but still feel scarcity. You can have tons of people in your life and still feel like no one really knows me.
Yeah.
Right? So it's an internal state that you cultivate and practice. So again, calling in the guardians, right? Even if it's imaginary, even if it's a superhero, fairy godmother, it doesn't matter. You're finding that space where you're the most important person, this kind of focus of the universe, which is what happens when we're babies, when we're little kids. We're all narcissistic naturally.
Right. True.
Yeah, and we need that kind of space to be the center and the focus and the most important.
Yeah.
So you cultivate that
within yourself.
And you can use different tools like tapping or things like that to find that comfort and that,
So talk about the tapping, because I'm totally in awe and mesmerized by this tapping, because when I've done it with you at events, I am like a different person in a matter of minutes. So yeah, if you could talk now how you got into the tapping too. How did you?
So I started tapping on my own. You know, I was so sick and so not well emotionally and physically for so long that I had plenty of time to research all kinds of tools.
What kind of sick, what was going on with you?
Basically autoimmune issues. And I was thinking about this recently. I haven't not been in pain in ever.
Yeah,
So
all your life.
My entire childhood,
Wow.
It was stomach pains and joint pains, and then diagnosis after diagnosis like rheumatoid arthritis and Hashimoto's thyroiditis, all the itises, IBS, all of these issues. So at that point, when I was starting to research all these things, I couldn't turn doorknobs anymore.
Wow.
It
got that bad.
Oh yeah. I couldn't, getting out of bed was just this really hard, literally hard physical process where I'd have to kind of like use momentum to move, which was really overwhelming. And at this point,
for someone so young.
I was in my mid-30s.
Yeah.
So it was like really every doctor was saying medication for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And medications with huge side effects.
Right.
You know, so I started looking at tapping, and I did some on my own, but I didn't really understand the root of tapping, which now, and then I got trained. I went to school, and at lovely hypnotherapy school, we also were able to get certified in tapping. And I started to use it with clients and friends. And in that process, realized what's really going on with tapping, that it's much deeper than, you know, a lot of the kind of educational tools will talk about energy work.
Yeah.
But that doesn't
Yes.
really give you much information.
No.
That's just kind of like energy work.
Mm-hmm.
But what tapping is really, I think, wonderful at doing is creating that dolphin pod feeling, right? So there's this call and response, even if it's me to a group and everybody's, you know, responding to my
you.
call,
Yeah.
or one-on-one, we're mirroring each other.
Yeah.
So we're tapping into those mirror systems, and our brain and our nervous system is getting the signal, oh, you're a dolphin too. Cool, I'm with the pod again, I'm with the pod. And then my stress response can go down.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what the issue is, my stress response will go down just because I'm with the pod. So that's
makes sense.
one layer.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
And then there are other things going on too with the nervous system and a calming signal using the meridians of Eastern medicine that have been around for thousands of years.
So you tap with the meridians.
You do.
So that's how you start.
Yeah.
And is there a certain amount of time you tap at each meridian?
Well, that's the thing that I always really like to share. So I always say, I ask everyone to tap in the mirror if they're tapping on their own.
Okay.
So your brain and that kind of primitive nervous system, primitive brain, I don't know if that's accurate to say, but basically that fight-flight response, that zone of the brain and the nervous system doesn't even know it's you in the mirror. It's just really, it's cool.
Okay.
So you can look yourself in the eye and trick your nervous system essentially into feeling like, oh, she sees me. She really likes me. We're like alike.
Interesting.
She likes me.
Yeah.
So you're getting that same pod feeling.
Okay.
Which is why I love Louise Hay's mirror work.
That's right.
That's exactly what you're
That's
doing.
what it's all about.
You're
Okay.
in the pod, right? And then what's happening is that soothing, oh, I'm with you, and whatever issue you bring up, right? So whether it's body image, whether it's sugar cravings, whether it's whatever it is, each one of them is getting that soothing, is getting that I'm with you through this.
And do you bring up
You're
each of
not
these
alone.
things that you're feeling throughout the tapping?
Yeah.
It's not just one thing that you want to tap about.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. So
Okay.
if you want to just generally lower your stress, you can just, I always say, just stream of consciousness.
Okay.
Just start saying whatever you're feeling into the mirror at yourself as you're tapping on these, you know, kind of pre-designated points. You can change them if you want.
And I noticed that when you do tap and you are saying these things, you're saying like, oh, I'm insecure, or I don't feel worthy. So you do say out loud the negative things that are going on in your brain. Why do you do that?
So wonderful question, such a good question. So think about if I were a little kid and I'm like, blah, but I'm like, I'm okay, I'm fine. It's not really helping me get the soothing I need. Right? To just be
just
like,
stuff
I'm
down
fine.
that I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna start being like, no, this sucks. I want that thing. I want that toy, and I'm gonna give a voice to all of that so that it can be soothed, and that caregiver soothing is what the tapping is doing. So the tapping, the call and response, right? That's all doing the soothing for that. And just like with a 2-year-old that's like, I'm going to die, and the world will end if I don't have ice cream, right?
Right.
And yet you soothe, and you're like, the little 2-year-old's like, okay, maybe the world won't end, right? And maybe if I don't lose that 5 pounds, adult self, the world won't end, right? So you're basically relabeling, you're soothing that issue that used to cause fight, flight, the world will end.
Wow.
You're soothing it, and it gets relabeled by the brain. Really happens all the time, super normal thing. Relabeled as non-life threatening. And when it's non-life threatening, now we can have perspective, distance, and
really evaluate what is really going on and how to move forward. And
responsive, not reactive.
I've loved having you on the show. I mean, I could talk to you forever about all this stuff. But I always ask my guests at the end if they had one word to sum up for their mission, what would yours be?
It's a really interesting thing. I practice this a lot, so it's play.
Oh, I love that. No one has said that on the show. Yes,
Thanks. So when we're in play, we're with our pods. You don't play when you feel isolated.
So true.
You don't play when you feel like something's wrong.
Yeah.
Play comes
You hide.
out. Yeah, you hide. And so play for me encompasses all of what I believe in. Growth, learning. This is how we learn. And the coolest thing is play is one of the best measures for determining future success. The better we're able to play, the better we're able to play, the happier
and more
healthier
successful we'll
and
be
more
in our
successful.
life.
And success. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not even just
Yeah.
health and happiness.
Yeah, it's success.
Yeah.
Not necessarily money, but
No.
it's success in your life.
But it does.
It does equate to money.
It equates to money.
Okay,
It's really
right.
cool.
Okay, that's not so bad.
So play. Okay.
Thank you so much, Lena.
Thank you.
We'll have more with you later. Thanks, guys, for listening. Welcome to the Lisa Goodman Show. I'm here with Lena George, restorative healer. She does this tapping method that I'm absolutely in love with. So right now we're going to learn how to tap. Welcome, Lena.
Thank you.
So can you give us a little bit of like what we need to know and how to tap,
Sure.
and we could
So
show everybody.
The cool thing is you don't really need to know anything about it. You can just dive right in.
Okay.
And if you're watching and you want to just mirror me, so when Alyssa repeats me, just speak along with her. That's
Okay.
how I would suggest it, right?
Okay.
So you're just going to mirror me. And if you're not right along the points, don't worry about it. Your body will know what to do. Just
Okay.
trust yourself. Okay.
Great.
So you ready?
Ready.
So we're just going to do
Yeah.
what we were talking about. Is that
Okay.
cool? Okay.
So
So even though sometimes I feel alone,
sometimes I feel
no
alone,
matter how many people are around me,
no matter how many people are around me,
that's okay.
that's okay.
I'm doing my best.
I'm doing my best.
So even though sometimes it feels really hard,
Sometimes it feels really
because I
hard
feel like I'm doing everything on my own.
because I feel like I'm doing everything on my own.
That's okay.
That's okay.
I can call in support.
I can call in support.
I know where to call.
I know where to
I know
call.
who to call.
I know who to call.
Just not the Ghostbusters.
Not the Ghostbusters, no.
So even though
Even though I thought about that.
I know
Even though
who to call, even though sometimes it feels really hard.
sometimes it feels really
'Cause
hard
It feels like I'm doing it all on my own.
because it feels like I'm doing it all on my own.
That's okay.
That's okay.
I'm getting better at receiving support.
I'm getting better at receiving support.
I'm getting better at receiving support.
I'm getting better at receiving
I'm
support.
getting better at asking for help.
I'm getting better at asking for help.
And I'm doing a pretty good job.
And I'm doing a pretty good job.
I'm pretty proud of myself.
I'm pretty proud of myself.
Okay, so coming up to the tapping points. It's like
Like
2 or 3
here?
fingertips right at the inside
and-
edges of the eyebrows.
Okay.
I'm pretty proud of myself.
I'm pretty proud of myself.
On the side of the eyes, I'm doing a pretty good job.
I'm doing a pretty good job.
Under the eyes, right on the bones, I can appreciate how hard I try.
I can appreciate how hard I try.
Under the nose, I can appreciate how much I'm doing.
I can appreciate how much I'm doing.
In the crease of the chin, even if it's just for 1 minute a day.
Even if it's just for 1 minute a day,
On the collarbone, right on the bottom of the collarbone, great. I can appreciate myself.
I can appreciate myself.
On the side of the body, right around a woman's bra strap, I can
Okay.
give myself credit for all that I'm doing.
I can give myself credit for all that I'm
On
doing.
the front of the body, same horizontal. I can give myself credit for all that I'm doing.
I can give myself credit for all that I'm doing.
Maybe just a little bit of credit.
Just a little bit of credit.
Maybe just a little bit of
Just
self-love.
A little bit of self-love.
Give myself some credit.
Give myself some credit.
Remind myself how hard I'm trying.
Remind myself how hard I'm trying.
That I'm further along than I realize.
That I'm further along than I
I'm
realized.
further along than I realize.
I'm further along than I realized.
Better than I thought I was.
I'm much better than I thought I
I
was.
feel better about myself than ever.
I feel better about myself than ever.
I'm getting better and better
I'm getting better and better
at feeling good about myself.
at feeling good about myself. I just, like, I completely feel different. And just that, how long, that was
Yeah.
like a matter of minutes.
Did you have a little bit of like emotional
Yes.
in the beginning?
Yeah, a
So I
little-
didn't want to take you there too long because we're on camera.
Right, exactly. I might start to cry.
Right.
But yeah, it just feels like I feel like just more in my body and stronger and feeling more confident with myself.
Yay.
Because we all have those
I hope
bits
you
of,
feel a little pat on the back
Yeah.
about how much you're doing.
Thank
it
you.
wasn't directed at you, by the way, which
Yeah.
is really interesting. This is just kind of the self-talk we all have. A
Yeah.
lot of times in class, people will ask me, were you talking just to me?
right.
But it's just because we're not snowflakes.
Right.
We're
We're all
the
thinking the
same.
same
We're
thing.
all
Right.
thinking the same
We're
thing.
all in that same tribe of.
Every single one of us, yeah.
Thank you, Lena. That was great. Oh, I can't wait to I have a 21-day cleanse that I launched about a week ago, relaunched on my website. And I just was thinking this morning, you have to be on there because I have a page of meditation and healing and restorative healing. It's all about that, not just about the food. So I'm going to put you on there.
Thank you.
So thank you.